Hello, Dr. Sushma Singh this side. Today in Unit 1, Social Background of the Emergence of Sociology in India, we are going to start our lecture with topic Official View of the British regarding castes and tribes. In 1769, Henry, the governor of Bengal and Bihar, stressed the importance of collecting information regarding the leading families and their customs, in addition to the cultural and social life of the natives. The revenue officers obeyed the order. Many prominent British officials followed the lead. For example, Francis Buchanan undertook the ethnographic survey of Bengal in 1807, and in 1816 Abbe Dubius, a French missionary, wrote Hindu manners, customs and ceremonies, which is considered valuable by sociologists even today. He was one of the first to have examined the interrelations of castes. Prior to his work, military chaplain William Tennant wrote a 2-volume work, Indian Declarations, consisting chiefly of the structures on the domestic and rural economy of the Mohammedans and Hindus. The mid and the late 18th century Western myth of an undifferentiated Orient, characterized by the rectilinear simplicity of its laws and customs, the primitive innocence of its people in the face of empirical data, was provided in such works. The fairly deep, if somewhat unsystematic, knowledge of Indian society started accumulating through the direct experience of many officials. Munro, in his land settlements in Madras, and Elphinstone, in his diplomatic work in Maharashtra. The first All India census taken by the British government in 1861 marked the beginning of the more systematic attempts at gathering data. In 1901, Sir Herbert Spencer sought to found an ethnographic survey of India which would develop as part of the census. He justified the proposal on the ground of the contribution of such a survey to the solution of a European problem with the aid of superior data available in India. The need to collect ethnographic data, particularly the primitive beliefs and uses in India before they disappeared through social and cultural change, and the indispensability of data for purposes of legislation, judicial procedure, famine relief, sanitation, control of epidemic diseases, and the like. The British government finally conceded in 1905 to the demand for establishing the ethnographic survey, which yielded a huge bulk of data valuable in anthropology and sociology in India. The volumes on tribes and castes of each province, the district gazetteers, and finally the imperial gazetteers of the India were all written as part of the survey. Now let us move to the next topic, that is growth of associations and institutions promoting social inquiry. Despite its serious limitations, the Western interest in Indian society created a ferment which led to the growth of the social activity in the subcontinent. A number of literary and scientific associations marked the intellectual scenario of 18th and 19th century India. Most notable was the Asiatic Society of Bengal, founded in 1797 by the world famous Sanskrit and Indologist Sir William John. It regarded history, science, and art as the trinity of human knowledge. It encouraged work in Indology, comparative philology, comparative methodology, comparative jurisprudence, history, and anthropology. Its deliberation and publications, including the Asiatic Miscellany, covered a wide range of social institutions and problems. The Academic Association started in Bengal in 1828 under the inspiration of Henry Deroggio. Kindled in the minds of young men such as Pyari Chand Mitra, Dakshin Ranjan Mukherjee, and Rev K. M. Banerjee, a questioning spirit with regard to literary and philosophical issues as well as the contemporary social institutions and problems. The active but short-lived Society for Acquisition of General Knowledge examined themes like prostitution, the Hindu widow, and female education. Another notable society of the time, also in Calcutta, was Tatavabhini Sabha, founded in 1839. It discussed social conditions and problems and questioned several established customs and institutions. Ram Mohan Roy, whom Rabindranath Tagore and Jawaharlal Nehru called the first modern man of India, was a great social thinker and reformer. His writings had considerable sociological content. Ram Mohan crusade against sati and his views on religion, position of women and rural society anticipated several major concerns that were to characterize Indian society later. Other notable thinkers and reformers of the time were Akshay Kumar Datta, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, and Pyari Chand Mitra. Such activities were not confined to Bengal alone. Yogendra Singh mentions Swami Vivekananda's Dadabhai Naroji, Lala Lajpat Rai, J.G. Phule, and M.G. Ranade, and several others in creating intellectual and social self-awareness in the country about India's cultural and civilizational strength, and yet pleaded for radical reforms in the society in order to meet the challenges of Western civilization and its colonial expansionism. As to the associations in towns or cities other than Calcutta, points out that the Literary Society of Bombay deliberated on the and published in 1929 in its journal Transaction of Literary Society of Bombay, a comprehensive empirical survey of a small town, Lone. The volume published another comparable statistical survey of the Parguna of the Jambu. the Madras Journal of Literature and Science, started in 1835, published historical and ethnographic studies and also surveys of cities and villages. The Benares Institute, founded in 1861 and recognized in 1864, was popular and active. Its section on social progress received important papers regularly on ethnography and social problems. The Urdu Scientific Society of Lucknow was also concerned with social problems. A paper on sociology for India was presented before it by Syed Safruddin. A Society for Sociological Studies was established in Jaipur in 1869. Calcutta, of course, housed more associations than other towns of the city. The Bethune Society, established in 1851, contributed significantly to social sciences studies. A section on sociology was started in the society in 1859 in recognition of the subject's elevation to the rank of the science and of the fact that it was replete with practical benefit to man. Reverend James Long presented in the society in 1861 his paper comprising 500 questions on the subjects requiring investigation in the social condition of the natives. The most notable among the institutions concerned with the social science was the Bengal Social Science Association. Its objective was to collect, arrange, and classify a series of facts bearing upon the social, moral, and intellectual conditions of Bengal, and by such means to assist in the promotion of measures for the good of the country. Indians formed an important part of the members of the association's council. Through questionnaires, the association collected a great deal of empirical data. The papers presented at its meeting also demonstrated an attempt at systematization and logical analysis of facts about Bengal and other parts of the India. Another noteworthy fact was that positivism and its founder Auguste Comte were known to the Indian, particularly Bengalis, such as Jogendra Chandra Ghosh, Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, the famous Bengali literature Buddhadev Mukhopadhyay, feasibility of developing a universal science of the society, and many others. Bankim and Bhudev logically controverted the claim of Jogendra Chandra that positivism was superior to Hinduism. Positivism, however, buttressed the spirit of critical inquiry. Herbert Spencer, the British sociologist too, was a well-known name for persons like Bankim, Bhudev or Vivekanand. His evolutionism or theory of education was widely discussed and debated. A little later, that is in 1905, Shyamaji Krishna Verma, a non-resident Indian political and social revolutionary in Britain, deeply influenced by Herbert Spencer, started publishing a journal, Indian Sociology. His journal did not, however, focus upon sociology either as a discipline and initiated by Spencer, nor did it primarily focus on social and cultural issues within the frame of the reference of sociological categories. The issue discussed had a mix of the orientation of social reformist and political activism. Here we want to close this lecture. Thanks for listening.